My name is Emma, and up until a few nights ago, I believed my family loved me. It started with a simple notification. My aunt had sent me a video. I was in the middle of making dinner when my phone buzzed. I wiped my hands on a towel, grabbed my phone, and absent-mindedly tapped the message. At first, I thought she sent me something random, a family video, maybe an old clip she found funny. But then, I heard my mother's voice. Emma should be grateful. She'd be nothing without us. My stomach dropped. The video was shaky, like someone had set their phone down without realizing it was recording. But the voices were crystal clear. A pathetic failure, that's what Emma is, my father added with a chuckle. But at least she's good for something, paying our bills. Laughter, I gripped my phone tighter. If Emma ever stops sending money, my aunt, the same one who had just sent this, said with a smirk in her voice, we'll just guilt her into it. She's too soft to say no. My whole body went numb. Emma, my name. They weren't talking about some hypothetical person. They weren't joking around. They were talking about me. I had been helping them for years, paying their rent, covering their debts, sacrificing my own savings just to make sure they never struggled the way I did. And this is what they really thought of me. I was still frozen, my thumb hovering over the screen, when suddenly, the video disappeared. This message has been unsent. I stared at the notification. My aunt had realized her mistake. She must have panicked and deleted the video, hoping I hadn't seen it. I should have confronted her, should have called her out, should have let them know I knew everything. But instead, I put my phone down and I pretended like I never saw it. And that's when I decided I wasn't going to react. Not yet. I had a plan. I sat there for what felt like hours, staring at my phone. The words kept echoing in my head. Emma should be grateful. A pathetic failure. She's too soft to say no. I wanted to believe it was some kind of misunderstanding. That maybe they were joking. Maybe there was some kind of context I was missing. But deep down, I knew better that I knew the truth. They meant every single word. And the worst part? They weren't wrong about one thing. I was too soft to say no. How many times had they guilt me into helping them? How many times had I put my own life on hold, just to make sure they had everything they needed? My dad's temporary financial struggles turned into me covering rent for years. My brother's tuition? He never even finished college. My mom's endless emergencies? Always conveniently timed when I had just gotten paid. And I had done it all without hesitation. Because that's what family was supposed to do, right? I had spent years convincing myself that I was doing the right thing, that they appreciated me, that they loved me. But that one video shattered every illusion I had left, and now, they thought they had gotten away with it. My aunt had unsent the message, probably breathing a sigh of relief, thinking I hadn't seen it. Maybe she even reassured everyone. Don't worry, Emma didn't watch it. They thought I was still in the dark. And that was my advantage. I could have texted her right then and there. Could have confronted her, told her I saw everything. But what would that do? They'd just deny it, make excuses, twist the situation to make me feel guilty somehow. Oh. If they thought I was still their naive, obedient little bank account, I'd let them believe it, for now. Because in just a few days, the next payment was due. And this time, things were going to be different. The next morning, I woke up to my usual routine. Except everything felt different. The sun still peeked through my curtains, my coffee still brewed like always, but there was this awareness in the back of my mind. Like I was seeing my life from the outside for the first time. My phone buzzed. A message from my mom. Mom, morning, sweetie. Just checking in. Hope you're doing well. I stared at the message. It was normal. Too normal. She never texted me just to check in. There was always a reason, always a request hidden somewhere. And sure enough, a few minutes later, Mom. Oh, by the way, rent is due soon. Can you send it by Friday? There it was. The same cycle, the same pattern. But this time, I wasn't going to play along. I typed out a response, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. My usual reply would be something like, of course, or no problem. Maybe I'd even apologize for taking too long, just to make sure they never felt inconvenienced. Not this time. That I erased everything and simply replied, me. I can't this month. I stared at the message for a few seconds before pressing send. I set my phone down and waited. 1 minute, 2 minutes. Buzz. Mom, what do you mean you can't? I could see the frustration through the screen. I had never said no before. I didn't respond right away. Instead, I took a sip of my coffee, letting her stew in her confusion. A few more messages came in. Mom texted, "Emma, this is serious. We're counting on you. You know we don't have another option right now." Another buzz? This time, my aunt. "Hey, sweetie, your mom is freaking out. Is everything okay?" I almost laughed. "Is everything okay?" Sure. Everything was great. I had spent years paying for their lives, and the one time I even hinted at stopping, they panicked. Not once did they ask if I was okay, if I needed help. It was never about me. It never had been. I took a deep breath and replied, "Me, I have some unexpected expenses this month. I can't send anything. Sorry." That was it. No explanation, no apology, and then I waited. What happened next told me everything I needed to know. The silence was deafening. For the first time in years, I had said no, and they didn't know how to handle it. I stared at my phone, watching the three little dots appear and disappear over and over. My mother was typing, stopping, typing again. I imagined her sitting there, seething, trying to figure out the perfect way to manipulate me into changing my mind. Then, finally, her response came through. Mom texted, "Emma, what do you mean unexpected expenses? What could possibly be more important than your family?" There it was. The guilt trip. The same tactic they'd always used that I didn't reply. I just let the message sit there. Less than a minute later, "Mom, you know your brother has no way to cover rent. If he gets kicked out, that's on you, dada." The brother card. Classic. Then another message, "Mom, we raised you, Emma. We took care of you when you had nothing. Is this how you repay us?" I clenched my jaw, my fingers tightening around my phone. When I had nothing, they never took care of me. I put myself through school. I worked 3 jobs to escape that house. And the moment I had money, they latched onto me like leeches, draining me dry. I had nothing because they took everything. My phone buzzed again. Aunt texted, "Emma, sweetheart, don't do this. We're family. Your mom is just upset. You know how she gets. Just send the rent and everything will be fine." Everything will be fine. Fine for who? I put my phone down, my heart pounding. I needed a second to breathe, to think. I walked to the kitchen, poured myself a glass of water, and took a slow sip. Staring at the clock on the wall, I could feel it. Something shifting inside me. For years, I had been scared of this moment. Scared that if I ever stopped paying, they'd hate me. They'd cut me off. They'd turn their backs on me. But now, I knew the truth. They never loved me. They loved what I could give them. And the moment that stopped, they would show me exactly who they were. I walked back to my phone, picking it up with steady hands. This time, the message was from my father. Dad texted, "Emma, I don't know what's gotten into you, but this is unacceptable. You're being selfish. This family needs you, and you're acting like some entitled brat. Grow up and do the right thing." There it was. The final mask slipping. No more fake sweetness. No more pretending to care. Just demands. I stared at the words, my heart pounding in my ears, and then another notification popped up. A voice message. From my aunt. My hands trembled as I hesitated, my thumb hovering over the play button. Something told me this was going to change everything. I hesitated. For a long moment, I just stared at the little play button on the screen. A voice message. From my aunt. My heart pounded against my ribs. She wasn't the type to send voice messages. If she had something to say, she usually sugar-coated it in text. Passive-aggressive, but with just enough fake sweetness to make me feel guilty. But this was different. Slowly, I pressed play. Her voice came through, sharp and impatient. "Emma, listen. I don't know what kind of game you think you're playing, but this isn't funny. Your mother is losing her mind. Your dad is furious. And honestly, I don't blame them. You've always been, well, a little ungrateful, but this is beyond selfish." I felt my stomach tighten, but I forced myself to keep listening. "You have a good job, don't you? You make more than any of us. You don't even need that money. Meanwhile, your family is struggling. And what? You just wake up one day and decide you don't care anymore?" A bitter laugh. "You owe them, Emma. After everything they've done for you. After all the sacrifices they made, they gave you life. And now, you're just going to walk away? Pretend they don't exist? What kind of daughter does that? She exhaled sharply, and for a second, I thought she was done. But then, you know what? Her tone darkened, colder now. If you really want to be that kind of person, fine. But don't expect them to forgive you. Don't expect to come crawling back when you realize how much you need them. Because once you cross this line, there's no coming back. The message ended. Silenced, I let the words settle, my thumb hovering over the replay button. My ears rang. My hands numbed. I should have felt scared. I should have panicked. I should have been scrambling to make things right, to fix this, to apologize. But instead, I felt calmed. I don't know. More than that, I felt free. Because she had just confirmed everything. They didn't love me. They didn't respect me. They didn't even see me as a person. I was just a bank account to them. A walking, breathing ATM. And the moment I stopped handing out money, I was nothing. And if that was the case, then maybe it was time to be nothing to them. My phone buzzed again. Another message from my mother. Mom, last chance, Emma. Send the rent. I stared at the message for a long, long time. Then, without hesitation, I blocked her. I blocked my dad. I blocked my aunt. And just like that, for the first time in years, I was free. Or so I thought. Because the next day, my brother showed up at my door. The knock at my door sent a chill down my spine. IT was early, too early. The kind of early where normal people were still asleep, the sun barely peeking over the horizon. For a second, I thought about ignoring it. Maybe it was a neighbor. Maybe it was a package. Maybe it was anything other than what I knew it was. Then, another knock, louder this time, more insistent. I took a slow breath, steeling myself, and walked to the door. My fingers hesitated on the handle, my heart hammering in my chest, and then I opened it. There he was. My brother. His face was twisted in something between anger and desperation, his clothes wrinkled like he hadn't slept. His eyes, God, his eyes, they were bloodshot, wild. Are you serious, Emma? His voice was sharp, like a blade pressed against my skin. What the hell is wrong with you? I blinked, keeping my expression neutral. Good morning to you too. He scoffed, running a hand through his already messy hair. Don't do that. Don't act like this isn't a big deal. You blocked everyone. Mom is freaking out. Dad's losing his mind. You're just, what? Cutting us off? Pretending we don't exist? I crossed my arms, leaning against the doorframe. I don't know, Jason. Maybe I just got tired of being treated like a piggy bank. His jaw clenched. Oh my God, not this again. Not this again? I let out a bitter laugh. Jason, I've been paying your rent for years. I've covered your bills, your food, even your stupid gym membership. And the one time I say no, the one time I set a boundary, Mom calls me a selfish brat. Dad says I'm unacceptable. And you show up at my door like I committed a crime. His lips parted like he was going to argue. But no words came out, so I kept going. And don't even try to pretend you care about me. I saw the video. His face went pale. For the first time, real fear flashed in his eyes. What video? I smiled, but it wasn't a kind one. You know exactly what video? Jason shifted on his feet, glancing away. His hands balled into fists. Look, it wasn't serious, okay? We were just joking. You're being dramatic. Joking? My voice was quiet now, but sharp as glass. You all sat around laughing, calling me a pathetic failure, saying I should be grateful for the chance to pay your bills. Do you know what that feels like, Jason? To hear your own family talk about you like that? He exhaled harshly, rubbing his face. Emma, come on. No. I cut him off. You come on. You want money? Get a job. You want someone to take care of you? Find someone else. Because I'm done. Silenced, he just stood there, staring at me. And for a second, I saw something flicker across his face. Something raw. But it was gone just as quickly. You don't mean that, he muttered. I held his gaze. Yes, I do. Another silence. Then, his expression hardened. His mouth twisted into something ugly. Fine, he spat. You want to be a selfish BTCH? Go ahead. But don't come crawling back when you realize you have no one left. Asterisk, and with that, He turned and walked away, and I stood there, watching him go, my chest tight but my spine straight. Because he was wronged, I did have someone left. I had myself. But just as I closed the door, letting out a shaky breath, my phone buzzed. I glanced at the buzzing phone again, the familiar name flashing on the screen. IT was my mother, but I wasn't going to pick up. Not this time. I had been at her mercy for so long. Her demands, her guilt trips, the way she'd used my own sense of responsibility against me, manipulating me into giving up everything I had just to keep her from falling apart. Not anymore. I turned the phone over, face down, and walked away. The truth was, I was done. Done with being the constant source of money, the safety net that kept my family afloat when they couldn't be bothered to make their own way in the world. Done with the lies and the manipulation. They'd never once asked how I was doing. Never once thought about the toll it took on me to be the one always picking up the slack. I had carried their weight for years. My mother's, my father's, my brother's. All of them acting like I owed them something. Like my life was just one long, endless repayment for everything they had sacrificed for me. But no one had ever asked what I needed, and no one had ever cared about me, and now I was taking control. But my decision didn't go unnoticed. The next morning, as I sat in my living room, the silence felt suffocating. The weight of my choice was starting to settle in, but there was no regret, no second-guessing. I'd made the right decision. Then, my doorbell rang. I wasn't surprised. IT was Jason. I could tell by the way he knocked, demanding, impatient. The last person I expected to show up, but somehow, not surprising, I opened the door slowly, keeping my face neutral. "Emma," he started, the usual arrogant tone gone, replaced by something almost pleading. "You need to listen to me." I didn't invite him in. I stood in the doorway, arms crossed. "I don't need to listen to anything you have to say, Jason." He blinked, taken aback. "Good. No, you don't understand." His voice softened, almost desperate. "Mom's freaking out. Dad's calling me, asking what's going on. They don't know how to fix this. You've cut us all off. You can't just leave us hanging like this." I scoffed, leaning against the doorframe. "Oh, I'm sorry. Did you think I was just going to keep enabling you? Keep paying for your rent, your bills, and pretending everything was fine? No, Jason. I'm done. I don't care how much you or mom or dad beg. I'm done playing the role of the family ATM." His eyes flickered with anger. "You're acting like we've never done anything for you. Like we're all just users, right?" I didn't flinch. "Oh, believe me, I know exactly what I've been to you all. I've been a cash machine, a free ride, and I'm tired of it." Jason's face twisted. "You can't just leave us hanging like this. You owe us, Emma." The words stung, but they didn't break me. They only made me more resolute. "I owe you? I've given you everything. I paid for your rent, your groceries, your bills, while you just sat there and watched me do it. And you want to talk about oh?" His fists clenched at his sides. "You'll regret this. You'll regret cutting us off." I couldn't help but laugh. "No, Jason, you'll regret it. Because I'm not the one who needs you anymore." Without waiting for a response, I slammed the door in his face. IT felt good. But I knew the drama was far from over. Later that night, my phone buzzed again. I almost didn't want to check it, but the curiosity gnawed at me. IT was from my dad. "Dad, we raised you, Emma. Don't think you can just walk away from everything we've done for you. You're making a huge mistake. Come back. We'll talk about it. We'll fix this." I could almost hear the desperation in his words. I sat there for a moment, the phone still in my hand. I could have ignored it. I could have blocked him too. But instead, I had a better idea. I wasn't just going to block them. I was going to make them pay for every single lie, every single moment they'd taken me for granted. And it was going to start now. I stood up, walked to my desk, and opened my laptop. It was time to send them a message they'd never forget. And so I started typing. I sat at my desk, staring at the screen of my laptop, my fingers hovering over the keys. I wasn't just going to sit back and let them waltz back into my life as if nothing had happened. No, I was done being the punching bag. This time, I was taking control. I thought back to everything I had done for them. All the payments I had made, the bailouts, the times I had swallowed my pride and helped them even when I knew I was the one being drained. No more. Now it was their turn to feel the sting of their actions. I opened my email and started typing. First, I gathered all the financial records, every payment I'd ever made for their bills, every bank transfer, every check I had sent over the years to help cover their mistakes. It was time to remind them of what they had taken from me. I included a note at the top of the email. Here's a detailed summary of everything I've done for you over the years. I'm done being your lifeline. I'll no longer be your ATM, and I'll no longer let you make me feel guilty for choosing myself. Consider this my final invoice. You don't owe me anything anymore, but you will owe yourself the realization of how much I've sacrificed, all because I thought family was supposed to help each other, not drain each other. Then, I attached the receipts, the bills, the payments that I hit send. But that wasn't the end. Not by a long shot. I logged into the family group chat where they used to keep me on edge with their complaints, their endless demands. I scrolled through the messages, reading the ones where they'd claimed they needed me, where they'd guilt me into helping them. Then, I did something I hadn't done in years. I replied, "You all talk a lot about what you've done for me, but you've forgotten how much I've given up for you. And here's the reality check. You never needed me. You just used me. I'm done. This is my last message. Don't ever contact me again." I sent it. The silence after was almost sweet. I leaned back in my chair, letting the weight of the decision wash over me. For once, there were no more phone calls, no more guilt trips, no more pretending that they had any power over me. They could keep their manipulations, their lies, their empty promises. I was free, but just as I thought it was over, I received one last message from Jason. "You're making a mistake, Emma. You'll regret this. Family sticks together." I smiled to myself. I knew he was just trying to get under my skin, but this time, it didn't work that I didn't need them. I had my life, my freedom, and that was enough. That it wasn't the dramatic blow-up I'd imagined. It wasn't some grand confrontation, but in its own way, this was even better. I had taken control without anyone seeing it coming. And the best part? They didn't get to hold any power over me anymore. Yes, I turned off my phone for the night. A sense of peace settled over me. I didn't have to play their game. I didn't have to keep sacrificing myself for people who didn't appreciate me. It wasn't revenge in the way I had expected. It was quieter, more deliberate, and much more satisfying. Now, I could finally breathe. And the best part? I could finally live for me. And that, in the end, was the sweetest victory.
Wow, what a ride that was, right? It's wild to think about how much Emma had to endure for so long, but in the end, she took control of her life. I love how she didn't let all the drama or guilt from her family tear her down. Instead of a huge confrontation, she just cut them off, quietly, but with power. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't about making a scene, but about reclaiming your life and showing people you're not a doormat anymore. But here's the thing, not everyone would have handled it that way. Some people might say she should have fought for the relationship, maybe even given them a second chance. Others might think she did the right thing by cutting them out completely. So, what do you think? Do you agree with Emma's choice? Was her quiet revenge satisfying or too harsh? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think.